Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Welcome. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day or had a beautiful week so far. Hope everything is going copacetic for you. And welcome online on the conference call. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Um, I was moved to go into a real spiritual topic today concerning demons and the things that we have to deal with in high places that um are operating, and there's nothing new under the sun. So they've been operating, just a matter of we haven't really been I'll say some people haven't really been tapped into the things that are going on outside from what you can actually see visually. So some things are happening that's invisible, and the invisible are working with those that are visible, you know. As always, I'm start with Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahushua. So everything that we say is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior Mashiach Yahushua. We give thanks to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who's worthy to be praised for everything. For sure, for sure, for sure. And I just want to show you something. In Ecclesiastes 1:4, it says, one generation passes away and another generation cometh. You mean someone dies and you have those that are born on this earth, you know, through the womb, through their mother. But the earth abideth forever. It says, the sun also arises, the sun arises in the east, and the sun goeth down in the west, and casteth to his place where he was, where he arose, back to the east. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuits. I mean, wherever it came from, going right back to where it came from. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Think about it. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. So there's something. See, it's flowing around in a circle. Everything is a circle. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear feeling with hearing. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, still not satisfied. It says, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. So whatever was in the past is that which shall be in the future. And that which is done is that which shall be done. So the things that have was done in the past is that which shall be done in the future. And there is no new thing under the sun. You hear that? There is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It has been already of old time, which was before us, you see? So a lot of times, we can look at our little shallow world that we in, and you look at the superpower that's ruling the world, how they had a Discovery Channel, the History Channel, and this, that, and the third, whatever, trying to discover things of old because they were not, in civilization for over 1,000 years. So these are the things that we're looking at, trying to grasp here and there of what they present to us. But this Bible answers all questions. It's like he said, nothing new under the sun. So when we look at what it says so far, he said there is no remembrance of former things. So you're not going to remember, of the former things. That's why you see we're doing all this research, have done all this research, and still researching. I mean, as Israelites, finding things that actually apply to what we have learned from the scriptures to look at outside the scriptures. And you can look at anything once you look at comparing whatever it is that you're finding from what the scripture says. That's why I'm here. This is, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. That's why, you know, a lot of people like the Sadducee spirit, they don't believe in regeneration or reincarnation, you know, but it says there is no remembrance of former things. Why would it say remembrance? Do a chair remember that it was a chair? A ship remember that it's a ship? Or anything that's tangible that doesn't have breath as a person remember anything? There's no remembrance of former things, you see. So a lot of things that have happened in the past is still happening now. It's just we're in a different time. Like it says, the thing that have been in verse 9, it is that which shall be. So the things that we're going to look at in these scriptures is that what's going to be, meaning that it will occur right here in our time that we live in right now. And that which is done, whatever is being done, is that which shall be done. You see? And there was no new thing under the sun. And no new. You know, that's why I have to emphasize how they had a Discovery Channel and a History Channel, trying to find out new things, the things that, you know, they didn't know. Esau didn't know. They're trying to find out, you know, because it's a lot of things that, you know, we know, like they can't really dissect this Bible as it should be. So we know that the highest spirit on the left-hand side is Satan. And he told him Mashiach Yahushua this. If he told him Mashiach Yahushua this, and he was the son of the Most High, that's why we got to look at what we got to deal, what we're dealing with in the real way. He told him in Luke, the 4th chapter, after he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. Verse 5 said, and the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. So he showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, right? Including this kingdoms that we're in right now. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them. But that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. Right? If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. So you have to understand, a lot of people worship the devil. More people worship the devil than the Most High Mashiach Yahushua. And some people worshiping the devil don't even realize they're worshiping the devil, because they don't really go by what it is that these scriptures are saying. And I can tell anyone, I challenge anybody to say, what's more important than the Most High? I don't hear nobody saying that. He the most important of all. And when you tap into him, you'll be able to tap into a Mashiach Yahushua. But if you ain't tapped into him, because they ain't going backwards, they ain't coming from Israel to Mashiach Yahushua to the Most High. It's got to come from him, the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, and man and woman and child. So when you understand this, and what the Mashiach Yahushua used against the devil every time was the law that the Most High wrote with his finger. Y'all be talking about come back to the law, but you ain't talking about who wrote the laws, who gave the laws. That's what's important. For real, for real. Fearing him that gave the laws, that wrote the laws with his finger. And the Mashiach Yahushua answered and said unto him, talking to the devil, Satan, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Who are we talking about? He telling the devil, Satan, he got to worship the Most High, and him only shalt thou serve. See? That's real. I mean, you can't get no clearer than that. Look at Deuteronomy. He went through the law every single time. That's why I tell y'all, if you can't read that well, get you an app and play these laws in your house. You hear me? Play these laws in your house, and you'll see you'll be all right. Thou shalt, this is Deuteronomy 6 and 13. This is where he went to, Deuteronomy 6:13. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power. First and foremost, it say fear the Most High. A lot of y'all not teaching to fear the Most High. Fear means to be afraid, to be scared of the Most High. You know, before you can reverence or even have respect to him, you don't have respect to no one you don't fear. They don't move you in a way to make you tremble. The angels tremble before the Most High. So I say, thou shalt fear the Most High. You better understand, open up this Bible and think it means something different. You know what fear means. You better be afraid to be scared of him. Thy power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. And Deuteronomy 10 and 20. I mean, I've been over this many a times. So everything that he said to me, he went to the law right here. The law that y'all saying that we not under. So how y'all rebuking the devil? How y'all rebuking Satan? You ain't rebuking him. Deuteronomy 10 and 20. Thou shalt fear the Most High. Again, the first thing he's saying, what? Thou shalt fear the Most High. You better be afraid of the Most High. Thy power, your power. Him shalt thou serve, and to him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his name. That's what he quoted to the devil, Satan. And he had to leave him alone. Once he kept going to the law, the law, the law, the law, he had to leave him alone. But if you're not under the law, how you gonna rebuke the devil? And a lot of y'all just said it with no power. You're gonna see. Look at Ephesians 6 and 10. Ephesians 6 and 10. Ephesians 6 and 10. Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong. That's in the name of the Lord and Savior. And in the power of his might. Right? That's what we got to do. And be strong in the Most High, in the name of the Lord and Savior, in the power of his might. To put on the whole armor. That's the protection of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And I just gave you a solution. The solution that you will never know if you're in Christian sanity, because you're not going by the laws. You say we're not under the law. You just think you got to have faith. So how you rebuking the devil? One of my Shai showed you clearly, he went to the law every single time. You know, I went over this many times. Every single time he said, as it is written, where? In the law. Generally in Deuteronomy, he was in the book of Deuteronomy. So I want you to be able to take notes and really look at what has happened to us. Because we're in this last battle. It's the last battle. After this, it's over. It's over. It's the last battle, y'all. Last judgment of what's to happen in Jacob's trouble, while we have to have solutions. And the solutions are right here. It just matter, are you going to be ready, or are you going to try and get ready? It's too late to get ready, y'all. Look, Ephesians 5 and 14. It says, wherefore he said, awake, thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead. The Mashiach shall give thee light. And that's a dead state of mind. Not knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to prepare yourself to be ready, so you ain't got to get ready. That's why he said, awake, wake up, smack you, wake up. So they're the children of the dead, because they're looking for something that's not going to appear, not going to happen, because it ain't happening for you now. How's it going to happen to you for you then? When you look at Jacob's trouble, I mean, you know, I've just heard that they hung nailed this man against a tree, put nails in both his hands, like they did on Mashiach Yahushua. 10 truck drivers been hung. 2 brothers were just hung. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly. You better walk carefully. You better be paying attention. Not as fools, but as wise. And where you're not going to be a fool is to be tapped into the Most High. You can come out Yasharala all you want to, but if you ain't tapped into the Most High, he the one going to be able to deliver you from whatever. Israel not going to save you. I tell you that in Deuteronomy 28:29, and no man shall save you. Demon the time. Because the days are what? Evil. You hear that? Redeeming the time. Because the days are evil. It's not no great time that we in right now. Days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise. Say, don't be unwise. You better be trying to find as much spirit as you can find of the Most High. Tell you that. Inquire unto the Most High. Humble yourselves. Ain't no pride for people going. That's hateful before the Most High and man. Scriptures say pride is when you turn away from the Most High. Because you're dealing with yourself. You the one gonna make everything happen. You can pray all you want to, but after you pray, then now you prideful. Nah, that don't work with the Most High. His name is jealous. You understand when you exalt yourself too much, and his name is jealous. Oh, he want to be talked about. How much conversation is about him? Redeeming the time because the days are evil. And he the one that said in Proverbs 16:4, the Most High made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. What y'all think? Is it gonna be you just gonna just scroll into the kingdom and you ain't exalting him? Come on, make that make sense. Wherefore be ye not unwise. He would say, don't be unwise. Don't be running around here stupid, dumb, not knowing, and too prideful to ask questions, but understanding what the will of the Most High is. He said, understand the will of the Most High. What's the will of the Most High? Do what he say do. Fear the Most High, first and foremost. Be afraid, be scared of him. And when you're afraid and scared of something, you're going to make sure you do what's right. Like you do in this wicked kingdom that we're in now. This wicked, evil world that we're in now. You make sure you do what's right. So you know how to do what's right. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess. You hear that? See now, be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess. Just drinking too much. That's why they call it spirits, because you're not really functioning the way you're supposed to be whenever you're not full of spirits. But be filled with the Spirit. That Spirit of the Most High, not the spirits of wine and liquor and all that, getting drunk. That's why they call it spirits, because you change. But be filled with the Spirit. You see? That's very important that we see this, because when you look at these demons, man, this ain't nothing new, man. They've been dealing, man. They've been rolling around. That's why you look at Revelations for us. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, Revelation 12:12, and we're going to read verse 17. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. So you see the heavens, we are dwelling in heavens. You got the sky and you got the earth. Powers and authority is heaven on this earth. Look, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe means destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. So it says destruction to the inhabitants of the earth. We on the earth as people, and of the sea, those that are in the sea. For why? Before the devil is come down unto you having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You see? So he coming out with much wrath. That's Jacob's trouble, y'all. Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? So verse 17, who he coming down on? Who's the most important people that he would come down on? The answer is in verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman. The dragon is the devil, Satan, serpent, the beast, and Esau, and the Edomites. They all what color? Red. I mean, I've went over this many a times. And the dragon was wrought with the woman, which represent Israel. When you read Jeremiah 6:2, it said, I have likened the daughter of Zion, which we are, to a comely and delicate woman, symbolically. Understand? So the dragon, the serpent, the devil, the beast, Esau, the Edomites, all of them joined together as one state of mind and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's the 1/3 that's striving to make it. That's why, you can play around on it if you want to. You can play around with him if you want to and think you got all this power, this, that, and the third, whatever, and you even talk about the Most High. He ain't even your conversation. I can't just say it enough. Me, yo, my worlds, my worlds, my worlds, my worlds. I'm just gonna pray like Christian sanity people do, and then now that's my relationship with him. But after that, then I'm doing what I got to do. Don't even say what's gonna happen for whatever you pray to make that happen. Don't even know how this works. This is serious, man. But he coming down on us, the remnant of her seed. I just heard what they talking about, going after people for hate speech. Who do you think they talking about with that? They always say, we haters. Haters, I'm just reading the Bible with understanding. That's why he's coming down with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High. Who is that? What religion keeping the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws? What religion? What church? He coming down on those that keep the commandments of the Most High and had a testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. You better recognize. That's why I say you gotta be ready. Too many ways that been shown to be ready that you messing around and playing with this. This is serious. Well, Mashiach Yahushua said, Matthew 24 and verse 12 and 13. And because iniquity, that's wickedness and evil and sins, shall abound, shall be plentiful in this earth, the love of many shall wax cold. Shall wax cold. You hear me? The love of many shall wax cold. People gonna be cold-blooded. And you see it right now. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So you gotta endure. And Most High told us in Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter. Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter. But this is spiritual. Because everybody can't do this, because some of you still that old man, some of you that still that old woman. You haven't been born again yet. But it takes the spirit to be able to have you to look at what it says, and when you go against it, know that you're going to be dealt with. I can only warn you. Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Hear that? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. It's just temporary anyway. You know what I mean? It's just temporary. That's why we have to learn, to apply these scriptures in our life. You got to apply them in your life. You can't just read that and just say, oh, yeah, well, whatever come upon me, I'll take cheerfully. Yeah, right. You'll be surprised how this can help you to be a better person. It'll help you in not being so depressed and feeling a certain way, even whenever there's things that don't coincide with you being the way you would be and being happy. A lot of things that happen. Like I do a lot of counseling. I deal with mostly counseling. It don't be nothing that's beautiful and happy and joyful and rejoicing or none of that nature. It's always something that's sad. But I got to remember this. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and I have to have my mind right to be able to follow this in the spirit so that I can do that. But it might seem like it's could be offensive to somebody that's want you to feel like they feel because they out of it. Because they can't apply this in their life. They don't have peace in their life. That special peace that Mashiach says he's gonna give us, they don't really know anything about that. And if they know about it, they haven't applied it in their life. When you start applying this in your life, it works. I'm telling you. Well, I enjoy this. I don't feel no kind of emotional stress as I did when I first came in the troop, and I was like going out dealing, and I would take me 2 hours to unwind and stuff. I don't have that no more because I know the future. And when I realized the future, what's the point of me getting all pin out of shape? It's gonna happen. You know what it says is gonna happen if you got faith to believe it. So I'm like, well, shoot, I ain't gotta be getting all bent out of shape. That's why he said, and I looked at this, he said, hey, whatsoever, no matter what it is brought upon thee. He said, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. What do you say? Say, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You don't go through something. He's not gonna just hand the kingdom to us because we reading some scriptures and learning some scriptures. Come on, man. That's kind of like what the mindset of brothers be when they come in this truth, man. It's gonna take a whole lot of changing, so that you can look at, hey, what it is first and foremost to me, what it is for the Most High, not us. You talk about us a lot, and it's like a catch-22. It's like, okay, well, you locked into Israel, but you don't know nothing about the Most High. Who gonna save us? Israel? They tell you no man gonna redeem us, no man gonna save us. In Deuteronomy 28 and 29, no man shall save thee. The only one gonna save us is the Most High. Even the Mashiach don't know when he's gonna come to save us. Who knows but the Most High? So, I mean, that's really common sense to me. To tap into him, talk about him, and his name is jealous. Come on. Look, but he tell you, Matthew 24 and 12, and because iniquity shall abound, wickedness, evil, sin shall abound, be plentiful in this earth. The love of many shall wax cold. So people they got to fulfill what it says here. So you can get some cold-blooded people, But he that shall endure, regardless of how cold-blooded they are, until the end, no matter when that end is, the same shall be saved. That's real. Where you gonna be at? What's your method of surviving during the times that is coming? Because it's coming. It's already knocking on the door. Hope y'all have your eyes open, because it's knocking on the door. Hebrews 12 and 6. I wonder if this happened to enough of y'all to really realize what the scripture says. Hebrews 12 and 6. For whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth. Hear that? Who he loveth, he chasteneth, and scourges every son whom he receiveth. See that? Who the Most High love, he chastens, and scourges every son whom he receiveth. You're gonna go through some changes, man. This ain't no religion. If you endure chastening, him checking you, whatever means he does it by, pain, suffering, mental strain, whatever. If you endure chastening, let me say you got to endure to the end, the same shall be saved. If you endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. But what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Who is that? Those that are not his son. Or everything is so smooth and dandy, and you living in the life of rally here on the earth. This could be your chest. This could be your consolation right here. Hopefully not. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, like some are, they ain't been chastised. And sometimes the chastisement that you're dealing with is your own chastisement. You cause your own chastisement. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards, and not sons. So some of our brothers that's around us gonna be called bastards. and not sons. Hmm? You hear that? But if ye be without chastisement, if the Most High check you in a real way, a lot of times, some things happen, you be like, man, why? The Most High, I don't care if I was in the truth or not. Growing up, man, I got checked, man. Well, know the Most High just dealt with me. And I think, wow, what did I do? I'm paying for something. You paying for something. In my mind, I don't know how y'all think. I think, wow, he done jacked me. So it's for something, but he's telling you, I look at it, when I learn the truth, I say, wow, he said who he loves, he chastens. So yeah, like the rich man and Lazarus. The rich man, he had everything. Lazarus had, sores and all, he was going through all kind of changes. You see? But he went to a different place than the rich man, it says. So this is what we're looking at. We're gonna go through some changes. It's just a matter of, everybody will have to go through the changes of Jacob's trouble as others will. Because that might be your chastisement then. But some of us have been chastised all our life. Some of you haven't. You don't have no testimony to say about nothing that you went through at all. So maybe that's when you're gonna get it. Hopefully you'll get it. So you be a son of the Most High, a daughter of the Most High, instead of not getting it and be a bastard. Ooh. Furthermore, he said, verse 9, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection to the Father of spirits? You hear that? The Father of spirits, including the devil and Satan and all of them, and live? For they barely for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure. A lot of you probably been your mama that chastened you, because they tell you in the curses how the father's not gonna be in the house. They say for they, the father, barely truly for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure. But he, for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness, of his laws, statutes, commandments, man. That's what makes you holy. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Yeah. I had a period of time that I didn't have any chastening. Felt really good. Because I had to cry out to the Most High, because I kept having accidents. Somebody banging to me, bam, that getting with that steel on steel ain't no joke, man. Especially semi trucks and cars, accidents and so forth, man. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Yeah, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Those that's going to come back to the Most High, rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments that he wrote with his finger. And I have to keep saying that because it's very important to understand that you say you keep the law, but he's the one that wrote the laws. I don't care. I don't hardly hear nobody saying about who wrote the laws. Just keep the laws. Yeah, okay, but who wrote the laws? That was his work. And when they don't do it, then they giving the Most High their middle finger. Simple as that. That's why it's very important to know what you know, to be able to deal what you need to deal with in a real way. For real, for real. Matthew 17, and we're going to read 14 through 18. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Mashiach, 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 have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic. He's like got seizures and so forth, and sore vexed. For all the time he fought up into the fire and often into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Hear that? So he brought him to the disciples, and they couldn't cure him. It's like that might not be one. That's probably not one of the gifts they had. But Amashah side told them why they couldn't cure him. That's why it's very important to hear this. Then Amashah was saying, answered and said, "O faithless and perverse generation." Now he pretty much telling them off. He telling them off in a big way. "O faithless and perverse generation. That sound like a lot of love to you? He said, like you getting on their case. How long shall I suffer? You know, he said, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. So he said, hey, oh, faithless and perverse generation. That's why I be wondering, man, how much faith people have. You know, y'all know scripture, but how much faith you really have. You know what I mean? It's very important. And the master shall rebuke the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Generally, it takes about within an hour, these healings or whatever it is that is necessary that you bring forth, it happens just like it says here. In our time, you know, within that hour, you'll see it a lot of times written that within that hour, the things that is proclaimed to happen going to happen. Then came the disciples who, I'm not sure what say, a part of said, why could not we cast him out? So now you say, why couldn't we cast him out, right? Why couldn't we cast that devil out? In other words, they tried. And I'm not sure what said unto them, because of your unbelief, which is what? What he told us in Mark 11:22. Simple as this. Mark 11:22. I'm not sure what say, answering said unto them, have faith in the Most High. What he say? Have faith in the Most High. Say, why can we cast him out? First and foremost, he told them, oh, faithless and perverse generation in Matthew 17:17, right? Oh, faithless and perverse generation. So that's where it starts. Now, they didn't have faith. You know, they ain't have strong enough faith to do it. But he says in Mark 11:22, and the Master answer said unto them, have faith in the Most High. For verily I say unto you that whosoever shall say, I mean, you speaking it unto this mountain, whatever problem it is, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt. In his heart was you shall not doubt in your mind the way you think and believing and having faith in the Most High. Yeah, but how you have faith for someone that you even talk about? He not even your conversation hardly. Talk to me. But you got faith in him. But it's not in your conversation. He's not in your conversation. You can say to this mountain, he said, be thou removed. You got to say it. You got to speak it and come out of your mouth. And be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, which is your mind, the way you think, but shall believe that those things which he said shall come to pass. You believe, and that's your faith in the Most High, the things that you say gonna come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he said. That's why it's very important to watch your words. Speak positive energies into your worlds and not negative energies into your worlds. Oh, you done prayed now. Oh, I don't know what. You prayed on it. Yeah, I prayed on it, but I know it ain't gonna come through. He don't come. He don't. Why should he come through? Why should he come through for you? He'll never come through. Oh, well, you know, woe is me, woe is me. Okay, well, stay woe is me. Most of you got other people that's really gonna be believing in him and calling out his name. He love to be bragged on, boasted on, man. You can't boast on him enough. You better understand with all your strength. But here you are doubting. That's what he say. And shall not doubt in his heart, in your mind, but shall believe that those things which he said. You got to say it, y'all. This ain't, he could have said the things that you think. Did he say that? Do it say that? No. He said the things that you say shall come to pass. That means in the future. From what you said, it's going to manifest in the future. He shall have whatsoever he said. He made that clear. You got to say it. That's why listening is an art and a responsibility. Straight up. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire. Listen. You say, giving you the clear solution. Therefore I say to you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. You hear that? Can you do that? You pray, you ask for something, this is what's going to happen. You saying it. You pray, this is going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Because you prayed to the Most High, and now you can say, hey, it's going to happen. That's showing your faith. That's what he's saying. So therefore, I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you shall believe you receive them and you shall have them. Right? You got to say it, but there's a condition. He's always got these conditions, and that's verse 25. And when you stand praying, forgive. Hear that? Forgive. If you have ought against any, you got ought against your brother, tell you how to go to your brother or your sister, whatever. You know, if they're not an elder, well, elder, you got to go with 3, 2 or 3, it says. But you can go to your brother and iron out whatever. You know, shouldn't be walking around with grudges and feeling a certain way. Your prayers not being answered. Why I say, and when you stand praying, forgive. If you have a problem against any, that your Father also, which is in heaven, may forgive you your trespasses, your sins, the things you've done wrong. But if you do not forgive, you sitting there holding a grudge and holding something that you got a problem with someone, neither will your Father, which is in heaven, forgive your trespasses. Believe that. But understand. That's why it's very important for us to look at this and roll in a proper perspective of how we got to act, because these spirits are, like I said, they know they got a short time, so it just boom, all of a sudden, next you know, you back into the old man, you tracked into the old woman. Well, I always been like this. Well, you ain't in the truth. If I go back to when I was in the world, I ain't in the truth, straight up, because I know I was different. I know I thought different, and I know who I was. And if I feel myself going back there like that, I know that I got to check myself. But I've been in long enough to know how to deal with that. You see, a lot of you just coming in, you newcomers, new age Israelites, y'all just coming in. Y'all need to be able to know how to fulfill what it just said in Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, the 4th verse. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully. Therefore, you won't be so uptight and so mean spirited. You're just so and ain't doing nothing. Can't do nothing but just drop this word. That's it. You ain't moving no mountains nowhere. You ain't doing nothing to bring salvation to Israel, except for what we can teach people. Our words. That's it. All that is Bible. You know, that's why you got to follow what he say. And it's spiritual. Well, people are not spiritual. You know, you're going to use the Bible, and all of a sudden you're using the word, and you got problems, all these problems, and you use the word to be mean spirit against everybody because you got problems. No. Nah. But you see, he said to get those demons out of the person, what he said was solution. And this, just go back and find out. He said in verse Matthew 17-20, the Master said unto them, because of your unbelief, because you don't have faith. Remember, he said, don't doubt. For verily, truly, I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you hear that? Because they asked you, how come we couldn't cast them out? They done tried everything they know. He said, you have faith. That's have faith in who? Yourself? Or Mashiach Yahushua? Some angels or something? No. That's why we took you to Mark 11:22. Have faith in the Most High. But he said you have that faith as a mustard seed, that you really, really down with your faith in the Most High. He said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, and a mustard seed can fit under your finger, man, fingernail. You shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. You hear that? With your faith, he said, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Do you believe that? Or you looking at yourself and how you feel, your feelings, your emotions, this, that, and the third, whatever. That's why the Most High ain't working with a lot of people, because they all into themselves. You have become your own power. It ain't the Most High. What did he say? He said, have faith in who? You? Me? Somebody else? Beside him? Nobody else beside him. He said, Mashiach said, have faith in my Father, the Most High. Period. Verse 21 is the solution. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by what? Prayer and fasting. You hear that? They didn't know that? No, I guess not. Because he said this kind only goes out for us by prayer and fasting. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So sometimes you got to look at when you go into battles, man, you got to go to your closet or wherever you have to be able to be alone and pray and fast. Then you know fasting is good for you because it takes away, you know, whatever it is that would hinder you from dealing with someone with demons. And you know, we walking around with a lot of people have demons, man. And people expect you to be able to come and eradicate the things that they've been rolling with all their life. And it's normal to them. And so a lot of people not going to be able to hear this. When they hear certain things, and you know what? That verse right there, matter of fact, Matthew 17:21 is taken out of a lot of Bibles, y'all. It's not there. So why would they take Matthew 17:21 out? Think about it. Why would they take Matthew 17:21 out of the Bibles? I'm not talking about the King James, because we're just reading it in the King James Bible. But I know the New World Translators, the NIV Bible, and some of these Bibles, a lot of these Bibles, you will see that that scripture is not there. So what are they doing? They're keeping you from knowing how to get rid of these evil spirits because they evil and they know they operating on the left side. You think you want to show you how to get rid of them? Why would they take it out? Is that something you should mainly want to be in the Bible? But albeit this kind goeth out, excuse me, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Wouldn't you think that they would want that in there? They want everybody to be able to get rid of these evil spirits? I don't think so. Why would they take it out? Talk to me. Comment on that. Why would they take that verse out? You can get these other Bibles and you'll see it ain't there. It ain't there. Check it out. You know, one time I did TV shows. That's what's behind me right here. I did TV shows. I had Bibles stacked up on each side, right? And I was going through the Bibles, going through to show you how they take all these different scriptures out. You know, they're not there. So how are you going to know how to cast out evil spirits? It skips that. It goes, and while they abode in Galilee, and my said unto them, Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. And they were exceeding sorry. See, that's where it went to. Skipped over to verse 21. It went from 20, and they had nerve to put the 21 there and just put a line there. It's not there. 21, verse 21 is there, but it's a line going through it. That's something. And you know what the Most High said in Revelation 22. And so that's why I said when you put it all together, you're like, oh, that makes sense. What they won't do. Revelation 22, 18 and 19, the last, well, you only got about, I believe, 2 verses left. And the Most High said, well, I testify to every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, this Revelation 22, 18 and 19. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. So you're going to get all the plagues that's written in the book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book, which they have, like I'm telling you, you got whole uh, sentences that's not there, especially how to get rid of demons. Come on, why would they take that out? That's why I said, if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. So what's your judgment if your name is written out of the book of life? Revelation 20:15. This is judgment. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life. That's why everything that you can think of and want to think of should be you working toward your name being written in the book of life, because it says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That's it. See, you know, people they really feel that if they leave, I notice there's certain things. I notice how when I go over certain things, I say certain things, people leave, but they don't realize that they will be held accountable in that time of judgment, because that's like, it could be for them and they leave, they don't want to hear. It's sad, but it's real. I want to go into Leviticus, the 17th chapter. And we're going to, because we're dealing with this topic, I want to go into a few laws too. Leviticus 17 and um, we're going to look at, because this is observing, we are, approaching the Day of Atonement ourselves. It'll be, so trumpets is the 20th, and the Day of Atonement is 10 days later, so it'll be on the 30th. So this is during the time that, we were observing the Day of Atonement. I'm gonna read verse let's read, start at verse we're going to get 6. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of the Most High at the door of the tabernacle or the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto the Most High. That part, like the parts of the animal, like the fat, the organs, and so forth. We're not supposed to be eating no organs, y'all. That was sacrificed to the Most High. And they shall no more offer their sacrifice unto devils. Hear this? We offered our sacrifices unto devils. Straight up. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. You see that? That's why we have to have a Day of Atonement. And we still have to have a Day of Atonement, because we did this. Deuteronomy 32. And it's sad, because, wait a minute, let me go to Exodus 20. So we established this, because verse 1 said, and the Most High spake all these words, saying, we in the wilderness, getting the laws of the Most High. I am the Most High, thy power, your power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, out of the house of captivity, slavery, and bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods, no other idols, no other nothing before me. Hear that? Because anything you have is before him. Even yourself. He said, ain't nothing before him. He's everything. Thou shalt have no other gods, no other powers before me. He's come first. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. No matter what you could see tangible, you can't bow down yourself to nothing. I seen the Pope come down the steps one time, and he came to this little shrine that had a little cross. He was bowing his head to it. Nah. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power. Hear that? Most High said, he's a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So you can't say you love him and you're not doing what he say do. Point blank. You don't fear him first and foremost. You ain't scared of him. You ain't afraid of him. He gonna show up and show out. Understand this. I don't think y'all understand. The Most High put all those plagues on Egyptians to get him a name. And that was 10 plagues. Do y'all realize what he's going to do? You can't even imagine what he's going to do. Because he said that these heathen nations that's in charge of this world have not been judged. Do you realize when he bring the righteous kingdom on this earth, what he's going to do? That he'll have a name forever and ever and ever? Because, they call on Mother Nature. Hurricane Betty, Sue, or who else, Bob and John, whatever. That's the Most High. He ain't going to be called no El Nino. Little boy, he ain't called no La Nina, little girl. He ain't going to be called none of that. Forever and ever and ever, everybody going to know him. You hear what I'm saying? And that's what I'm telling you, that you can neglect if you want to. And don't talk about him and don't put him in your life. Just Israel as you want to, or whatever y'all deal with Christian insanity, having faith in Jesus Christ and all that, if you want to. You better understand. Mashiach Shai prayed to him. And he said, Father, take this cup from me. But he said, let that will be done. And I'll show you the will of the Most High, concerning his only begotten Son. And here we are, just learn how to read, just trying to make it to the kingdom. This is it. This is it for us. This is it. All you nations supposed to be learning what we're teaching. Or you're gonna perish as a nation, as the scripture said, Jeremiah 12, 16, 17. It said, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me. How you love them? And keep my commandments. You keep his commandments. You do what he say do. And it's not hard. It's just, you just rebellious. Bunch of stiff-necked people that we're reading about in this Bible. You're the same people. While you say, oh, we ain't under no law, you're going to burn. Your name not going to be written in the book of life. You're going to be thrown in the lake of fire. And fire burns. He said, he got a spiritual house for you. Y'all better understand, man. I'm just here to warn you. I'm here to wake you up. I'm your personal alarm clock. Deuteronomy 32, the 32nd chapter. Look at verse 15. I like that one. Deuteronomy 32, 15. But Zezerah, that's another name for we the Israelites, waxed fat and kicked, like we kicking it. Thou art waxing fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Listen, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, strange idols. With abominations provoked they him to anger. This is what we did. We provoked the Most High to anger by going, you got to understand, man, I don't understand it. I know there were some of us, as it says, the righteous and the wicked went into captivity. I know some of us, when I look at all this, man, it kind of hurts because it's like, that they really didn't care about him. And he did all that to let us know that I'm your power. And he did, to the Egyptians, and nothing happened to us. And we still had clean water, no frogs was going, all the, plagues that he put upon the Egyptians, none of that came amongst us. And we seen all this. And we seen him open up the Red Sea. And we went across on dry ground. And here we are knowing this now. For us living today and still don't have the spirit of a Most High and say you're spiritual. But last I read John 4:24 says the Most High is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in the spirit. Stop there and figure that one out. It's the end of truth, but stop there at spirit. Let's worship him in spirit and find out what that means before you go to the truth. Oh, yeah, I'm keeping the laws. Gotta keep the laws. The truth is the law. This, that, and the third. You skip over spirit that he is and in truth. You can't skip over the spirit. Research that. Talk about that. Because there's a lot of them. There's a whole lot of spirits out there, boy. You better believe that. And they jump into people's minds, boom, at any time. Boom, they're gonna change like, dang, wow. Boom. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna be able to deal with it because of the fact of you don't want to try and find out more. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abomination, provoked him to anger. Provoked they him to anger. Made the Most High angry. We did this. They sacrificed unto devils. Hear that? We sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High. So I think Israel don't like to be checked. A lot of y'all don't like to be checked. Your feelings, you want to hear something that make you feel good when you ain't done anything to be made feel good, to feel good. I'm talking about from the Most High's perspective. Because you ain't talking about him. He ain't in your conversation. He's someone that you ain't really, vibing with. You might think you vibing with him, just by, like I say, reading scripture. Brothers say reading scriptures makes you spiritual. You better think again, man. Like I said, Most High is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him how? In spirit and in truth. You got to give a whole breakdown on spiritual. There's a whole lot to go with spiritual. You got the right side of spiritual, you got the left side of spiritual. And you got the centerfold of spiritual. Talk to me, They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, man. That's what we did. With abominations provoked they him to anger. Don't eat pork. We're going to eat pork anyway. Don't eat catfish. Oh, man, that catfish tastes good. Give me some of that. You understand? It's like a bad child. Don't go over there and touch that. They're going to do it anyway. There's got to be a reason why they said don't do it. I'm going to do it. Let me see. Let me go ahead and investigate. Next thing you know, something happened to them. They sacrifice them to devils. This us. That they is us. We the Israelites. Not to the Most High. To gods whom they knew not. Like these religions. What religion is here in Deuteronomy? If thou might say. Show me your religion from Genesis to Deuteronomy. This is the laws of the Most High. Where your religion at in here? To gods whom they knew not. Like this dude. Where he at? Don't be trying to run from me here. Like this dude. Gods who they knew not. You think Moses knew about this dude? Huh? About the so-called white man being Mashiach Yahushua. You think Moses, when he's talking right now, Mashiach Yahushua is dealing with him, you talking to him, dealing with him, that's how he looked? He said, yo, Joseph and Mary gonna look like that? Come on. That's to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. They ain't care nothing about that. The other rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful. You see that? The Most High that begot thee, that's what I'm talking about. And who I'm talking about, you are unmindful. Because you're not promoting him, you ain't talking about him, you ain't even your conversation hardly. Y'all don't digress to all praises. All praises to who? All praises. That's how much we done digress. And it's the end of the world. And y'all just following, man, whoever it is. All praises. What? I must read it again. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful. How do you think the Most High feel about that? Talk to me. How do you think the Most High feel about that? You can't even say all praise to the Most High, or type it out. All praise to the Most High. There's a lot of people that's hearing, though. Some of you still ain't getting it. It's of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful. All praises. That's what you're saying. Not to him. And has forgotten the power that formed thee. I'm just dealing with that. And I'm telling you that Zeus last name is Amen. That you calling on at the end of your prayer. Or can I get a Zeus? Do you realize that's what you're saying when you say Amen? Look it up. I done exposed it many, many times, man. And Lord is Baal. I'm gonna get put in your face right now. Or the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful. You don't care. You ain't thinking about him. That's the spirit. Because it wasn't, believe me, it's not planned. But I asked for the spirit of the Most High, guide me. And he's saying it right there. Or the rock that have gotten us, man, as the Israelites, thou art unmindful. And has forgotten the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that formed thee. Calling on what? Baal, which is Lord, which those that believe in Baal have put it in the Bible. Remember, it says you add to or take away, they'll give you all the plagues. So they already know what they won't do. I mean, it tells you in this Zondervan, that was a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. When you look up Edom, this is what the elite know. You know, the demons in high places. Look, they know this. This is on the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. You figure it out. I done told you many a time. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scripture as the scene of great future judgment. See notably Isaiah 34, 5 and 6, Isaiah 63 and 1 down. She is the only neighbor, listen to this closely. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve, from the Most High. You hear that? The only people that was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. That's why they do anything. Anytime they say they're the Most High. That's why I say, and when the Most High saw it, but what we doing now? APTTMH. All praises. LORD, which represent ZEUS and AMENRA, Egyptian God and the Greek God. Alexander made sure he only dealt with 12 years. He made sure that was on the market before he got up out of here. And here we are in these last days. You find out about it, you just change. You change, you stop doing it, you stop saying it. Hear what he said? And when the Most High saw it, he abhorred them. He hated us because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters, passing it right down to our sons and daughters. Wicked, man. And he said, I will hide my face from them, and I will see what their end shall be. But they are a very froward generation, man. So he looked at us, man. Very froward, man, generation. Children in whom is no faith. Now we in the so-called New Testament, we just read about that. Well, my shepherd says you got a faith of what? A mustard seed that fit right under your fingernail. You can tell that mountain to move over here, yonder, and it moves. But who we are. See, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, things that are worthless, has no power. And I will prove them to jealousy with those which are not a people. You hear that? He said, gonna move us to jealousy with those which are not a people. So everybody, just these nations, the Most I don't look at them as a people. He said, I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Come on. What it's going to take for us to wake up? Because that's what he's done. That's where we at right now. With no people and a foolish nation. And we're people, because he said that in Psalms 148:14. To tell you that these other people are no people. No people. Who is that? Think about it. Don't take a rocket science and figure that one out. Shit. All the things that we see happening right now. This is what it says. And Psalm 148:14 show that we are people. But all these other nations are not a people. It says, he also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints. This proves who the saints are, even of the children of Israel, right? We're the saints, even of the children of Israel, who are we a people. Remember, you say you're going to provoke us to jealousy and anger with a no people, but we are people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High. Everybody should say with me, praise ye the Most High. Hope you can say it. Look at Second Chronicles. Hold on. Go to Second Chronicles. This one. Second Chronicles, 11th chapter. And let's look at this is Rehoboam. This is concerning Rehoboam. This is Solomon's son who took over after Solomon died. He took the throne. He was of the tribe of Judah. And he reigned in his father's stead. King Solomon's stead. So we're going to look at Second Chronicles 11 and start at verse 13. It says, and the priests and Levites that were in all Israel resorted to him out of all their coasts, to Rehoboam. And for the Levites left their suburbs and their possession and came to Judah and Jerusalem. That's where we're at, Judah and Jerusalem. Okay? And for Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing the priest's office unto the Most High. So Jeroboam is over the northern tribes. Rehoboam was over the southern tribes, like Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and that's Rehoboam. That's Solomon's son. Jeroboam was over the northern tribes, the rest of the 9 tribes. But the Levites were amongst all the tribes, but they were the priests, the ones that administrated the law to everyone to make sure that, we was on point with the Most High. But Jeroboam kicked them out of the northern kingdom. So they had to come back to be with Judah and Benjamin. So you got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And those that, realized that Jeroboam was so off, because remember he made 2 calves. But let's continue. It says, and he ordained him priests for the high places. Hear this? This wicked Jeroboam of the northern tribes. He's over all of them. Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. And he ordained him priests for the high places and for the devils. Hear that? And for the devils. And for the calves which he had made. Remember, I told you he made 2 calves. But you hear this? And for the devils. This is so disrespectful. When you look at all the things that the Most High did for us and have done for us, and here we are. This is northern tribes, man. And Judah was just as bad. Seeing what the Most High did to them and what they did, we did the same thing. Until this day, man, one or another we could be boasting about. And he ordained him priests, verse 15, for the high places and for the devils. Hear this? And for the devils. Dang. And for the calves which he had made. And after them, out of all the tribes of Israel, such as set their hearts to seek the Most High power of Israel, came to Jerusalem. See? I'm telling you, some of us went to Jerusalem, of the northern tribes, the ones that sought after the Most High. Like some of you got to separate yourself from those that don't want to really deal with the Most High and just want to deal with whatever it is, but not Him. Trust me and believe. Everything gonna be about Him. He the one gonna be all in all, not us. He gonna be all in all, not a Mashiach Yahushai, but the Most High. He gonna be all in all, straight up. Because He the one that's been neglected more than anybody. He the one that is not talked about more than anything and anybody to this day. And after them, out of all the tribes of Israel, such as set their hearts, I mean their minds, to seek the Most High power of Israel, came to Jerusalem to sacrifice unto the Most High power of their fathers. You see, so all of them wicked, like Jeroboam. So we had tribes, or the other tribes, the northern tribes, that was with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi too. Right here, you see it. So they strengthened the kingdom of Judah and made Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, strong 3 years. For 3 years, they walked in the way of David and Solomon. And Rehoboam took him, he started having many different wives here. I'm going to tell you about different wives that he took and had children by him. And verse 23 said, and he dealt wisely and dispersed of all his children throughout all the countries of Judah and Benjamin unto every fenced city. And he gave them victual in abundance. And he desired many wives, it says. Because I was not against the law. You just couldn't have them wives that are going to turn your mind away from the Most High. You know, you get a woman that she ain't about this truth with you, and you gotta compromise with the truth with her. Especially these other nations, as he said, don't get with them because they're gonna turn your mind away from following the Most High. Can't deal like that. Psalms 106 and 35. Well, before you go there, go to Jeremiah 10, 1 and 2. Because he told us this. You know, like the Bible is not really like in chronological order. It's like he told us this in Jeremiah 10 and 2. It said, verse 1, hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus say the Most High. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. Learn not the way of the heathen. One more time for understanding. Learn not the way of the heathen. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Why? Because when you read Psalm 96 and 5, why are they dismayed at the signs of heaven? When you read Psalm 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. See that? But the Most High made the heavens. Why he told us in Deuteronomy 7, when he was giving us the land of Canaan. This when we came out of Egypt, and he was going to give us the land of Canaan. And he told us this, Deuteronomy 7 and 3. Neither shall thou make marriages with them, these other nations, these heathen nations. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Why? For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. That's why he said we're supposed to be interracial marriage. Because the Most High gave every man his woman, straight up. He said, but thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, destroy what they believe in, their gods and so forth, and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Why? For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people to himself. How special? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You see? So, and he said further, he said, for the Most High did not set his love upon you. That's the Israelites, we the Israelites, nor choose you, the Israelites, because you were more in number than any people. You know, the Most High didn't care about no quantity. For you were the fewest of all people. You hear that? We are the fewest in numbers of all nations. He said, but because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, how the Most High brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Say, know therefore, and everybody today, that the Most High is thy power. He's your power. He is the Most High, the faithful power, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him. Hear that? He repayeth them that hate him to their face. You ain't got to worry about when he's coming. He said he's going to repay them to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Woo. That's clear. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day, to do them. Not to just read them, but he said to do them. Now let's go to Psalms 106 and 35. Psalms 106 and 35. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their words. Man. Learn their words. And served their idols, which was a snare, which means a trap unto them, right? Go to Exodus 34. Exodus 34. And 11. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. 7 nations greater than us. Take heed to thyself. Most I say, pay attention to yourselves. Lest thou make a covenant, which is a contract or agreement, with the inhabitants of the land, whither y'all going, lest it be for a snare, a trap in the midst of thee. And that's what people have done today. They made a covenant with the ones we were enslaved under. But ye shall destroy their altars. Again, break their images, and cut down their groves. Like right now, this is a big stronghold on our people. They really think that this is a Mashiach Yahushua. They really think this is a Mashiach Yahushua. It's a big stronghold right there. It's a man by the name of Warner Solomon that's making all kind of money off that picture. That picture was drawn in 1940s or something like that. That's a new picture. I know, going way back to Michelangelo, drawing that picture of Caesar Borgia. Come on. He said, but ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. But thou shalt worship no other God, no other power. For the Most High, you see how I put L-O-R-D there? In the place of the Most High, which is B-A-A-L. Which is B-A-A-L. Somebody just told me I could put pictures up on YouTube. I'll put it up on YouTube. Just that. Most High Ratazawan will. But thou shalt worship no other God, no other power, but a Most High whose name is jealous. You hear that? Most High whose name is jealous is a jealous power. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, which we did, and they go a whoring after their gods. See? Remember, all the gods in the nation are idols. You know, and that's what we did. That's what we're doing right now. We go a whoring after their gods. So what religion is keeping the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and teaching the people of the sacrificial laws? What What religion? Keeping those four sets of laws, at least moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. What religion? Y'all ain't talking to me. Y'all know everything else. Y'all can't tell me what religion is keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. Because they're not doing it. They say they believe in the Sabbath, they don't even keep the Sabbath as it should be done. Even if they say it was the first day, they're doing everything under the sun, like it's any other day. Just going to church, get their little feel good, and go home and just do whatever they do. Cook, buy, sell, do everything. It ain't the day of the Most High. You can't tell me that they're doing that. Let's y'all make a covenant, which they have to this day. Contract agreement with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods. There's religions. They put religions there and do sacrificing to their gods and sacrificing to their religions. And one called thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice, pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, you name it. That's abominable before the Most High. He said, we're going to make our abode in you, and you putting all that nasty crap into your body. What do you think the Most High feel about that? I'll tell you what he feel about it. He tell you going to kill you. In Isaiah 66:15 down, this is what he said. He said, and thou take of their daughters unto thy sons. He already told us the law. Don't marry them because they'll turn their minds away from him. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods. What we do? We made that calf when Moses went up to get the laws for 40 days. And then when the kingdom was split, you hear what we just read about with Jeroboam, or having the northern tribes do what? He made two calves and said, this who brought us out of Egypt. How do you think the Most High feel about that? Because I know it's not something that you really, really, really think about that much, How do you think he felt about that? Let's go back to Psalms 106 and 35. Y'all give a like and share the video. Be very much appreciated. It'll help this go out because a lot of our people need to hear this, And, it don't, like I said, the Most High said it wasn't because we were numerous that he don't need quantity, he need quality. And those that are to hear this are going to hear it. That's why I look at it. Psalms 106:35. And those that, I don't get many likes, so they don't like, what it is that I bring out. But you can take your finger here to like, and it'll help someone else get it. That'll be works for you because you hit it. Bam. Okay. Psalm 106:35. But we're mingled among the heathen and learn their works. You see, most I said, learn not the way of the heathen. What we do, we learn the works of the heathen, and they serve their idols. Remember, all the gods of the nation are idols. So we serving their idols until this day with these religions and so forth, which were a snare unto them. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. This is what we did. We sacrificed our sons and our daughters unto devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Most High kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred again. He hated his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, captivity, slavery, and bondage. And they that hated them, so these heathens don't love us, they that hated them ruled over them. The enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hands, slavery, under all these nations. What do you think we care? Nope. We kept on doing the same old, over and over again. When you read the Bible, we're mostly in captivity. 1 Corinthians 10. That's why I said when you get to the New Testament, you got to know the Old Testament to understand what they really bringing out, because they just repeating what it is that was written, or we doing the same thing. Like I can relate to what I'm reading now to right now with these religions and so forth. 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles, these other nations, these heathen nations sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. They're not sacrificing to the Most High. What they worship is not the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Or they would say, I believe in the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Because the Most High say he's the power of Israel. That's the Israelites. And they're not included if they are not of those 12 tribes, point blank. You look at, you got 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel, which means 12 times 12 is 144,000. You got 12,000 times 12 is 144,000. Where they fit in there? Where they fit in there? Where they fit in? 144,000. Where they fit in? Okay, you got 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, 3 gates on the east, and 3 gates on the west. And each gate have the names of the 12 tribes of Israel on them. What gate they going through? Talk to me. If you know them 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High is not your power, period. You say we are holy people. Holy means what? You got to keep the laws of the Most High. That's why he said, hey. But I say, 1 Corinthians 10, 20, but I say that the thing which the Gentiles sacrifice, these other nations, these heathen nations, they sacrifice to devils. And we follow the devils. We follow those that followed devils, became devils until this day. A lot of y'all a bunch of devils. They sacrificed to devils. They became devils and not to the Most High. And I would not that you should have fellowship with devils. You know? That's why you got to try the spirit with us, with not there the Most High for real. You cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Most High's table and of the table of devils. You know? You're gonna choose either or, man. So you can't be in the table of the Most High and the table of devils. You got all these devils around, and you think you rolling in with the Most High, man. I don't think so. You making it clear, y'all. 1 Timothy 4 and 1. 1 Timothy 4 and 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times and in the last days, y'all, some shall depart from the faith. Just like he told the apostles, man. They said, why couldn't we cast out this demon? He said, because you ain't got no faith. Your faith is shallow. How you got faith in someone that you don't really talk about? Talk to me. How you got faith in the Most High? He's supposed to come through for you, but he ain't even in your conversation. Me, mine. I'm gonna do this. I'm just somebody else, somebody, person. That's the only thing you have to say. It's something pertaining to someone else or yourself. He never hardly in people's mouths. That's why I said, the Spirit speakers expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith. Faith in who? What did he tell you in Mark 11:22? Have faith in the Mashiach Yahushua. Have faith in yourself. That's why a lot of y'all messed up. A lot of y'all messed up. A lot of people messed up because Ecclesiasticus 3:24. They messed up. We're trying to get you out of there. Ecclesiastes 3:24, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. You see? They're deceived by their own vain opinion. People always, that's in your emotions, all things you into your lust and whatever you feel like, you're going to justify how you feel from your own inner being and not from how you should be in the scripture. That's why it says, Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. You know, doctrines of devils. So if it's not of the Most High power, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who's it up? And the Mashiach Yahushua, who's it up? The devil. Doctrines of devils. These religions are doctrines of devils. So prove me wrong. They're not dealing with the truth. Because they say you're not under the truth. You ain't got to follow the truth because the truth is what? We can sing it together, Psalm 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So they said we're not under the law. See, come on. Doctrines of devils. This is what we caught up in. Revelation 13 and 4. Revelation 13 and 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Remember, we showed you where the devil, Satan, showed him, I shall say, all the kingdoms of the world. He said, all could be thine if you what? Bow down and worship me. Let me show it to you again. Some of you might be just coming in, might not recognize that. Luke 4 and 5. And the devil taking him up into a high mountain showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. So he showed him all the kingdoms, including the kingdoms that's on this earth right now, in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. And whosoever I will, I give it, right? He said, but the condition is, if thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. And Amashawashai said, answering said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan. For it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High, your power, Satan, devil, and him only shalt thou serve. You got to serve the Most High, just like we do. Everybody got to serve the Most High. The Most High say, hey, you're going to do this, you're able to do this, you're not able to do that. Most High has his hand on everything. That's why I said in Revelation 13, we can start at verse 3, because this is dealing with bringing America back into existence. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. That's when they fell and was ran into the Caucasus Mountains in 193 AD. The Roman Empire fell. And his deadly wound was healed when he came out of the Caucasus Mountains in 1453 as the Ottoman Turks. And it started the Renaissance period, and approximately 40 years later in 1492 until now. And all the world wondered after the beast. Come on. They wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. They worshiped Satan. You know, that worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. See? Understand this. That's why I said when you go to Revelation 12, the chapter before this, you look at verse 3, it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. Now, he could have just wrote it out. If it was for everyone to understand, then it would have been straight up. You know, it's the 7 leading empires of the Edomite nation: the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. Did he do that? No. He said 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns are the EEC, the European Economic Community, the European Community is called, or even NATO today, you know? And 7 crowns upon his head. Each one of their kingdoms, you know, came in consecutive order. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. They had their little, you know, time of rulership. Then, you know, Britain comes from who? America comes from Britain. So now when you look at verse 9, it says, and the great dragon, which is red, was cast out, that old serpent, which is red, called the devil, which is red, and Satan, which is red, which deceiveth the whole world. Hear that? Deceiveth the whole world. Deceiveth the whole world. Lied to the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Understand this. Because you got, understand it, you got angels on the right side and angels on the left side. Because y'all looking at, I mean, y'all got some, a lot of people have a lot to learn because, let me show you something. Um, this angel's on the right side, okay? Matter of fact, before I go there, go to Hebrews 13. Praise to the Most High. Uh, Hebrews 13, and we're going to read verse 2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, right? For thereby some have entertained angels unawares, okay? So now, when you, that's a person. That's a person. That's an angel. So look, when it tells you in Second Ezra's, I'm looking at this the right side angels. So let you know that they got right side angels and they got left hand angels. Okay. Second Ezra's the first chapter, and it says, let's got verse 38 and 39, get right to the point. It says, and now, brother, behold, what glory, and see the people, and see the people, and see the people. Remember, it said, don't be aware of, in entertaining strangers unawares, for some have entertained angels unawares. Okay. So it says, Second Ezra 1 and 39 says, unto whom I will give for, excuse me, verse 38. And now, brother, behold, what glory, and see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders. Listen at this. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hosea, Amos, and Michael, and Joel, uh, uh, Abdi, what's that? Abdius, that would be um, I'm not certain. And Jonah, Nahum, and Rebecca. That might be Abdius. I had to look that up. Nahum and Rebecca and Zephaniah. It might be Amos. I don't know. It might be Amos. No, Hosea, Amos there, Michael, Joel, uh, Obadiah. That's Obadiah. Abdias, that's Obadiah's, and Jonah, Nahum, and Rebecca, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Most High. You see that? So you got them on the right side, you got them on the left side. That's why you look at um like it's saying in Revelation 12 and 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So his angels are men just like we men. Like you seen the ones that's on the right side, the one we just named was like an angel of the Most High. They angel on the left side. You got angels on the right side, you got angels on the left side. For real, for real. So that's very powerful. Um, it's very important. Um, it's a lot. I'll do that next week. Um, Revelations, 13 and 20. Revelation 13 and 4. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So they bowing down, worshiping Satan. Like he said, all should be done if you what? Worship me. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. And there was given unto him what? A mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months, man. So now, this is what you're looking at with them, setting themselves up as being the most high, Mashiach Yahushua, and all the prophets and everything, you know, being possessed. And he tell you in the last sentence in How Did They Deceive the World? The last sentence in Revelation 18:23 says, for by thy sorceries, witchcrafts, were all nations deceived. You see? So they got a high level of witchcrafts in this earth right now that have people, mesmerized. They talk about doing certain things to the people that took the jab and so forth. They talking about all kind of stuff right now, man. It's wicked, man. Look at these things up a bit, man. We'll deal with them. Zechariah 13. Go to Zechariah 13th chapter. Verse 1, Zechariah 13:1. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David, Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. Hear that? There's going to be a house open unto us, man, for sin and uncleanness. It shall come to pass in that day, said the Most High, power of hosts, power of army of angels, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. You're going to remember no Lord, which is Baal. You remember no Zeus, last name Amen. You remember God, which is dog spelled backwards. You remember none of that. Hear that? And they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Look, and it shall come to pass, don't get it twisted now, that when any shall yet prophesy. Remember the first commandment of promise, then his father and his mother that begot him shall say unto him, thou shalt not live, but thou speakest lies in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Because they Christians, they dealing with Christian sanity. And they're going to say, thou speakest lies. Like they call, man, you got to look at this, because they call the apostles Christians in Antioch. And Christian come from the word Cretan, which means poor fellow, and also means a very stupid person. So they thinking that we speaking lies unto this day in the name of a Mashiach Yahushua, right? He say your father and mother gonna say you prophesying lies. You shall not live. But I'll speak lies in the name of the anointed Savior. And his father and his mother that begot him shall thrust him through when he prophesied. And that's deep. It shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed, every one of his vision, when he hath prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. You know that? How you gonna be ashamed of the prophecies that you know? He says it's gonna happen. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am an husbandman. But man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. Gonna change from being a man of the Most High. Say, I'm a farmer. Whatever they do, they're gonna stop being a prophet. Scared. A lot of y'all be scared. And one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? And he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Mm-hmm. like Amashak Yahushua was wounded in the house of his friends. He said, awake. But hear what it's saying, preachers. O sword, against my shepherd and against the man that is my fellow, said the Most High of hosts. Smite the shepherd, that's the leader of the people, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn my hand upon the little ones. That's the ones that's, you always love the children. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's 2/3 of the people going to be cut off and die, but a third shall be left therein. You're going to leave a third there. And I will bring the third part through the fire. That's the remnant. You're going to bring us through the fire. He's coming with fire. And also bring us through his word. His word is fire. Also. And will refine them as silver is refined. That's why I say gold is fine in the furnace of affliction. Silver is refined in the furnace of affliction. Through his word. And through the things we got to deal with it, being chastised, or you a bastard, he said. Remember we read that earlier? He said, you're going to refine us. But now with fire, he said, I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Most High is my power. Say, my people. Who is my people? Matthew 2 and 6. These particular passages in the Bible that answers the questions, y'all should know these. You should learn them. It'll help you to be able to see when these words are spoken, how you can define them. The Bible defines itself. Matthew 2 and 6. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall say, rule my people Israel. So my people are the Israelites. Straight up. You see my people, you're supposed to already know that he's talking about the Israelites, not anyone else. No one else can claim that because he said, my people Israel. And going back to the law, Exodus 3 and 10. Exodus 3 and 10. Also. Defines my people. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, who? The children of Israel out of Egypt. You see? So my people represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 6. 1 Corinthians the 6th chapter and verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? So who is the unrighteous? Someone that's not righteous, right? So how do you prove who's righteous? What's righteous? Go to in the law. That's why I say, when they read the New Testament, how are they reading it correctly if you can't define what it is that everybody had to go by, and that was the law and the prophets, to be able to determine was these definitions. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness. Deuteronomy 6:25. This defines righteousness. If we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he have commanded us, right? So that makes you righteous, to doing the commandments of the Most High, the laws of the Most High, that same ones that they say you're not under. But So if keeping the commandments make you righteous, then if you don't keep the commandments, then you're unrighteous. If you're taught that you don't have to keep the law, you're not under the law, you are unrighteous, period. So going back to 1 Corinthians 6:9, know ye not that the unrighteous, those that don't keep the commandments, the laws of the Most High, shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. All right. Look at what it says in Revelations 14 and 12. Revelation 14 and 12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Mashiach Yahushua. So you see that? Here is the faith of the saints. We define the saints in Psalms 148:14. It said, even though the children of Israel are people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. That's the saints. Here is the patience of the saints of the 12 tribes of Israel. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Mashiach Yahushua. So there it is. Not only that, Revelation 22:14. Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Hear that? So what you think? You read the opposite. Cursed are they that don't do his commandments. But he say, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. You know, it's going to be 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, 3 gates on the east, and 3 gates on the west, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. And each tribe going to have their own gate to go through. So where you going to fit in if you're not of those 12 tribes and going through them pearly gates, y'all like to say? You're not going through. You're a Gentile, you're not going through. Understand this. 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous, those that don't keep the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, men with men, men sleeping with married women sleeping outside their marriage with other men, idolaters, those that don't believe in the Most High, something that they worship in besides him. Ain't nothing visible you can worship beside him. He's invisible power. Fornicators, man, laying down with anything and everything. No thieves, no covetous, design everything that somebody have, no drunkards, no revilers all the time arguing back and forth, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. This is what it says. And such were some of you. But ye are washed. That's why I say you got to be changed. You got to be born again. You are washed. But ye are sanctified, cleaned up. But ye are justified by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua and by the spirit of our power. That's why I say the Most High is a spirit. It's John 4:24. And they that worship him must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. Through his spirit, man. And in truth. Like such were some of us. He choose a holier than thou people to come into this, to learn this Bible, what it's really talking about. That's why it's very important that we see this. St. John 15 and 3. St. John 15 and 3. On the Sabbath, I'm going to go through showing you how people be possessed. St. John 15 and 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Right? That's how you clean yourself up. Ephesians 5:26. Ephesians 5:26. That he might sanctify it and cleanse it. How? With the washing of water by the word. That's how you clean up by this word. Learn it, live it, and apply it in your life. Hebrews 12 and 6. Hebrews 12 and 6. For whom the Most High loveth, he chastens. We went through over this earlier. And scourges every son whom he receiveth. If you endure chastening, you go through some changes. Don't run. Where you gonna run from the sky? Where you gonna run from the Most High? You gonna run from the Most High? You ain't no way you can go. If you endure chastening, the Most High dealing with you as with sons. But what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if you be chastened, if you without chastisement, well, all our partakers, did you hear that? Everybody gonna be going through some changes. Gonna be dipping that fiery furnace of affliction. Believe me. Don't look at someone that's been in this for all these years and say they ain't going through nothing, been through something. A whole lot beyond your imagination. But if you be without chastisement, well, all our partakers, all of us went through something. That's still hanging in here. If they tell you that story, they've been through something. Believe that. Then are ye bastards and not sons, okay? You won't be no bastard. That's a fatherless child. That's why he told you in Ecclesiasticus 2:1. Ecclesiasticus 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation. You got to prepare yourself for temptation, for the devil. How you prepare? By knowing what works against him. You know, you got to know what works against him, because you understand, man. I just showed you how you know he got a short time come down with much wrath on those that keep the commandments, on us. We to keep the commandments. That's why I tell you in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober. You got to be focused. You got to be ready. You got to know what to do. And you given the answer what to do and what you going to do. Do it your own way. Then you're going to want to cry to somebody for counsel or somebody to help you when you're doing your own thing. You ain't listening. And some of you done heard it over and over and over again. And now it's the time to apply it, and you can't apply it because you got your own way that you want to do it. So I say, be sober. You know, you're going to drink your way out of this. No, you ain't drinking your way out of this. And I hope you ain't getting high. You say, be sober. You got to be focused, y'all. Be vigilant, because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour. Come on. You ready for that? That's why I say when you come to serve the Most High, prepare your soul for temptation. You know, y'all, a lot of y'all ain't calling on him anyway. You start calling on him, start talking about him, dealing with him. You say, prepare yourself for the devil. Because he already got you. He already got your mind and your mouth. So you can't talk about the Most High. But you can talk about everything else in the world. But you ain't talking about him. That's why when you start talking about him, you start talking about his laws that he wrote with his finger. Oh, you got some power then. But you're not under the law. So how you going to rebuke him anyway? Say, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, has a roaring lion ready to kill something. Walking about seeking whom he may devour. He looking to devour you. Whom resist steadfast in the faith. Faith in who? Faith in the Most High. Still going back to the Most High, but how you got faith in the Most High in your conversation? Gotta think about it. Better be about it, boy. Because this dude trying to come down on those that keep the commandments of the Most High and have a testimony of Mashiach Yahushua. That's us. Nobody else. He already got the 2/3. You see, 2/3 ain't gonna make it anyway. He already got them. It's us. We the ones that's everything happens always come back to us. I just heard them say they're gonna try and come up with something to stop hate speech. Is this hate speech because we read in the Bible? That they don't know it? Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplishing your brethren that are in the world. You hear that? Don't sound like a lot of love to me. Afflictions is frictions. Look, 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, but God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. What he say? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Hear that? Can you do that? He said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For any man that loveth the world, that love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. There a key point. You love this world, the love of the Father ain't in you. But all that's in the world, lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. See? And the world passes away. This world gonna pass away that you see now. You're gonna have new heavens, a new world he's gonna create. And the lust thereof, and all the things that are against the Most High's commandments gonna pass away. But he that doeth the will of the Most High, you that want to keep the commandments of the Most High that he wrote with his finger, abideth forever. Hear that? You're gonna live forever. Regardless. You might go to sleep, you're gonna wake up and live forever. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that anti-Mashiach shall come even now. Even now, I love the way this says, are there many anti-Mashiachim. Hear that? Even now, are there many anti-Mashiachim. They're against him. Whereby we know that it is the last time. And he said, what? I always talk about that revolving door. This is it right here. He said, they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. They wouldn't have went out back out in the world. Remember it said, love not the world? They wouldn't have went back out in the world. That's the only place they can go. Go back into Christian insanity or something, religion or something, besides being in the truth. But they went out, that they might be made manifest, that they were not all of us. And that's the sad part that you have to deal with. That's the sad part you have to deal with. Because there's so many that have come and gone, that revolving door, that have come and gone, man. He said, they might be made manifest, that they were not all of us, no matter what it looks like. And I see generations, young generations right now, building and, working together. I'm quite sure they probably have splits also, people come in and they be gone. Verse 21, say, I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it. You know the commandments of the Most High, and that no lie is of the truth. Who is a liar, but he that denieth that a Mashiach Yahushua is a Mashiach, that Yahushua is a Mashiach. He is anti-Mashiach, that denieth the Father and the Son. Whosoever denieth the Son, the same hath not the Father. But he that acknowledges the Son hath the Father also, because Mashiach say, no man come to the Father but by me. And there is no New Testament. There's only the law and the prophets when he walked the earth. That's it. Understand, overstand it. Let that therefore abide in you, which ye have heard from the beginning. If that which ye have heard from the beginning shall remain in you, ye also shall continue in the Son and in the Father. Because you said in St. John 10 and 30, I and my Father are one. They agree. He's not going to go against the Most High. You can't run to a Mashiach Yahushua. Think you're running from that mean power that's in the Old Testament. It was him too. He was called a destroyer. That's what he's called, a destroyer. Y'all don't know him like that. Like I say, people don't really know him because they don't teach this Bible right. Look, 1 Corinthians 10, when we back in the wilderness, when the Most High gave Moses the laws to give to us, in this lesson here, now here we go, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 1, moreover, brother, I would not that ye should be ignorant. Don't be not knowing. Don't be in darkness, how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. Remember, Most High opened up the Red Sea. We talked about this earlier. We went across dry ground and still complained and murmured. And we're all baptized into Moses in the clouds. So we way back in the first 5 books of the Bible. with Exodus on in the cloud and in the sea. And that cloud was the Mashiach that was sat there, leading us in a chariot by day, a cloud by day, and a fiery chariot at night to lead us 40 years in that wilderness. It's going to tell you that. And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, that we did not esteem the rock that followed us. Remember we read that in Deuteronomy 32? Drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock, we in the wilderness, was Mashiach. You hear that? For all you that don't believe in him, and you believe in the Old Testament only, that was him right there. That's the top angel of the Most High. But with many of them, Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things are examples to the intent we should not lust after evil things, y'all, as they also lusted. You better get your mind right. Neither be idolaters. Remember they made the calf when Moses went up to get the laws and commandments. 40 days, 40 nights. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, and were written, as it is written, Salakia, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Where that's written at? In the Old Testament. Straight up, all this is in the Old Testament. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed. Where they commit fornication at? In the New Testament? No, in the Old Testament. Some of them committed and fell in one day 320,000. The Mashiach killed 23,000. I'm saying, neither let us tempt Mashiach. Here it is. As some of them also tempted, where we at? In the wilderness. Let us not tempt Mashiach, where we at? In the wilderness. As some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents, have fiery snakes eat them up, or bite them and kill them, poisonous snakes and so forth. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. How much I was called the destroyer. That's when he come back to judge and make war. He already know how to take care of business. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples, what we call examples. And they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. You better understand that. And with that, I'm going to end. Say, Crum, Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I say, Crum, Mashiach, Yahushai, and Crum, Yasharella. Rise, Most High, rise, Mashiach, Yahushai, and rise, 12 tribes of Israel. And I'm out to water y'all.